I'm Melissa Lane, and welcome to the LifeKraft Podcast. LifeKraft is passionate about helping you live your everyday life better by sharing inspiration, awareness, and tools to enable you to create a fulfilling life. Hello and welcome to today's episode of the LifeKraft Podcast. My name is Melissa Lane and I will be your host today. Before we get going with the episode, I just want to remind you that we love hearing from you. So be sure to take a screenshot of yourself listening to this episode, tag at the LifeKraft, and share your biggest takeaway from this episode with us. Take some action, show us what you love so that we can create content that you love and that will make your everyday life better. So today we are going to be talking about a topic that has really changed my life. And I know I sound so excited and so amped up about every single episode that I record, but I promise you this is the thing that took me the longest to really put into practice, but it is the thing that has really showed me the greatest results in a very short time, and that is visualization. So I've been on a self-discovery journey for the past 6 years. I didn't grow up in the best environment. No one taught me how to live a life that I actually love, how to create abundance, or how to really be at peace with myself and the world that I'm living in. So for years and years, I really struggled through life. That was my story. I always used to tell my mother that I don't do life well. I struggle. I don't know where I came from, but I was not supposed to be here. I was not supposed to be human. This is really difficult. And it is such a limiting belief. And if there's someone out there feeling that way right now, I get you. And I promise you, you are meant to be here. Life is meant to be good for you. So I went on this self-discovery journey and I started studying people who looked like they had it all together. And I didn't just want people who kind of were these influencer types that really just put on the show, but there wasn't heart, there wasn't substance, they weren't grounded. They didn't really look like they got it all together. They just put on the show. So I really went and bought books and read books and went to seminars and did free workshops and listened to podcasts of people who kind of looked like they were shining from the inside out. People who got this thing down. People who, in my mind, did life well in whatever aspect I thought was important. So I came across a whole bunch. Some of the first were people like Oprah Winfrey, and then Gabby Bernstein, Tony Robbins, and now I've discovered even more like Lewis Howes and Dean Graziosi and Boss Babes and those types of people who have really inspired me in ways that are not even imaginable. But I really dug deep into self-development and self-mastery. And the things that I've been sharing in these past couple of podcasts in season 2 are the things that I have learned from them. But one day I was listening to a podcast by the amazing Brendon Burchard, and he said that he visualizes every single day, and he visualizes when he sets an intention, and visualization really changed his life. And I thought, it's so funny because about 12 years ago, I read a book called The Master Key System, and the practice that book gave me was 1 minute of visualization and meditation a day. 1 minute, where you really just focus in on visualizing something, a person, an object, an apple, whatever, and really going deep into that visualization. And I thought, I've done so many meditations that include visualization, and I've heard so many stories from Oprah Winfrey to Jim Carrey to the people who I work with to really millionaires and people who are so successful that it's not even funny. And they all have this thing in common where they visualize. And I sat there and I thought, why don't I do that? I do all the rest. I've got an epic morning routine that gets me excited. I'm creating a life I love. I serve people through my business. I serve people through my message. I'm so on fire for the life that I've started to create. I've really done like a 180 change when it comes to how I live life, what I think about myself, what I eat, what I do, how I breathe. Why haven't I added visualization to this mix? And so the little nerd that I am, I went and I studied visualization, everything about it, because I kind of have it down. I'm a meditation practitioner. I can really visualize quite quickly. Why am I not putting this into practice? And that's what I want to share with you guys today. If you don't live it, you are not going to get the results of anything that you listen to. If you are just going to keep on gaining knowledge, you are just going to be a very knowledgeable person, but you are not going to live the life that you deserve. So, visualization is the formation of a mental image of something. It's as simple as that. It's that inner eye that you hear people talking about. It's not a woohoo thing. It's really based in science. So visualization activates the creative powers of your subconscious mind, which is so important because 90% of everything you do in a day is your subconscious mind, the habit patterns that you formed there. So if you have a tool that can activate that part of your mind and you can change the negative parts into positive parts and you can put things in there that you want to experience and that you want to bring into this world, it's so powerful. And visualization is one of the tools that can get you there. So research shows there's a very strong scientific basis for how and why visualization works. You might have heard of the Olympic players who they split them into groups and some of them practiced on the track every single day and some took the same amount of hours and sat in a very relaxed meditative state and visualized how they would jump over the bar, how they would run that race. And when they tested them, the group that did the exercise physically every single day for that amount of time had only a 1% increase compared to the ones that did just the visualization. So they both actually grew those muscles. They both actually improved in that way. So visualization is just as powerful. And here's why. When we visualize, we actually activate the same regions of our brain as when we perform the action. It's quite crazy. Our minds don't know the difference between what's physically real and what is vividly imagined. So if you imagine something, the same regions of your brain are activated just like when you would do the action. So, seeing the goal as already complete is a core technique that is used by the world's most successful people. And I cannot, it will take the entire podcast for me to just tell you all the books, all the podcasts, all the mentors, all the amazing inspirational people who I have studied who use visualization on a daily basis to be and do what they were put on this planet to be and do. So I'm going to take you back a little bit in the studies that I did. And Bruce Lipton was one of the people who really changed the game for me when it came to understanding health and biology. But Bruce Lipton's book, The Biology of Belief, shares that our bodies and environment can literally change based on our thoughts. So your body and your environment can change based on your thoughts and beliefs. I really want you to let that sink in. Joe Dispenza always says, if you really believe that your thoughts can impact your reality, you will not believe the same things and you will not think the same thoughts. If you really believe that. And I remember that day when I was listening to Brendan Bashar's story of how he visualizes and how it changed the game for him, coming from really struggling, not figuring out his business, not being able to create the wealth and the abundance that he knows he could, not serving in the way that he knew he could serve, and just changing something as small as visualizing the outcome before it happened. I was sitting there thinking of that line from Joe Dispenza, and I thought, if I really believe that visualization works, if I really believe that my thoughts impact my reality, why am I not visualizing? And that was a game changer for me. So I'm not going to go into more studies and more things like that. You've got Mama Google. You can just Google and see the amazing effect that visualization has. I want you to start putting it into practice, because next week I'm going to release a podcast episode that is really going to teach you how to live all of these things that I've been talking about these past couple of weeks. How to activate the higher self, how to use intentions to reach your goals, how to use visualization with that every single day for 8 to 9 minutes, and it will change your life, guaranteed. If you do it for 21 days, your life will be changed. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. But now I want you to take a moment, take a nice deep breath with me. And I want you to just relax your body and close your eyes, except if you're in public or if you are driving or doing something dangerous. Then pause this podcast and come back to it. But if you're in a relaxed situation and you're just at home or at the office, quickly close your eyes. And I want you to get an image in your mind of a lemon. And I want you to cut the lemon in half. And I want you to really feel the skin, that oily, citrusy skin. And as you cut it, I want you to smell that lemony scent. And I want you to see it glisten. And I want you to pick up one half of the lemon and bring it closer to your nose. And I want you to smell it. That fresh, lemony smell. That scent is so distinct. And I want you to now take that half of a lemon and I want you to bring it towards your mouth. And I want you to bite into that lemon. And I want you to taste it. My mouth just started watering, and I can really just imagine myself tasting that lemon, and I feel it in my body. My body shrugged. I was not in the mood to do that. Open your eyes now. And I want you to see in a simple exercise like this that a lot of RTT therapists like the amazing Marissa Peer do. This is a little technique just to show you how powerful visualization and the thoughts that you have are just on your body. Your body completely reacts to your thoughts and your beliefs. Something as simple as smelling that citrusy scent of a lemon and biting into it and tasting that sour juice that comes through. Did your jaw also tighten? And did your mouth also fill with saliva? Because mine did. And I've done this exercise quite a couple of times, but it's that powerful. And that's how powerful a simple visualization like that is. Now, you might be thinking, but Melissa, it's so difficult. I can't just imagine. And I understand that because it was trained out of you. We were made to imagine. We were made to create things in our mind that we eventually experience here on the earth. But as little children, the adults in our lives, very well-meaning, most of them, taught us not to use that faculty as much. Stop imagining. Listen to me. Stop being your own little world. You need to focus here. And so we lost that ability. But the nice thing is it's like a muscle. You can just practice it back into the state that it was when you were a little boy or girl. So today, I'm going to show you how to start practicing visualization. And next week, you're going to start putting this little practice into a really nice tool that you can use every single day to live the best life that you possibly can. Okay? You excited with me? So, how to practice visualization. I want you to commit to this from today till next week when the last of this little series comes out. I want you to practice 1 minute of visualization a day. And here is how it's going to go. I want you to pick the most insignificant thing that you can think about. So I want you to say visualize an apple, or visualize a sunflower, or visualize a blue feather. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to pick whatever that very insignificant thing is. Don't put too much emotional connection into it, something really easy, because we're practicing this muscle of visualization. So you're going to take that and you're going to get into a relaxed state for 1 minute a day. You're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then secondly, I don't want you to overthink it. So firstly, don't pick something too emotional to start practicing with. Something very insignificant, something very easy. Once you've picked it, I want you to be in a relaxed state for 1 minute. So whether it's first thing in the morning or just before bed, you're going to do this visualization. Thirdly, don't overthink it. I don't want you to overthink it. I want you to have a little sense of allowing the image to come into your mind. Okay? Then, next up, once you've picked it, so say mine is a blue feather. I'm sitting relaxed for 1 minute. I'm breathing deeply, and I am not overthinking it. I'm just having the image of a blue feather in my mind. Next up, I want you to start involving as many senses as possible. So I want you to feel the blue feather. I want you to engage your sense of smell. I want you to feel how soft it is. Is it a big blue feather? Is it a small blue feather? Just kind of run your fingers over it or hold it in your hand. Then I want you to start engaging a little bit more of your senses. Is there any smell? Do you have any taste in your mouth? Are you warm? Are you cold? Are you comfortable while you're imagining this blue feather? Engaging as many senses as possible makes it a really powerful practice. So just start engaging as many senses as possible. Next up, I want you to connect with an emotion when you visualize. So I don't want you to be too emotionally involved in just imagining a feather, but I want you to start putting some emotions in your little visualization as the image of that blue feather or whatever you think of becomes clearer. Start connecting with an emotion that you love blue feathers, or blue feathers make you think of a time when you were very happy, or as a child you enjoyed playing with blue feathers, and allow a smile to come onto your face. Allow your body to relax as you think about them. Allow yourself to become whatever it is that you're visualizing. If it's an apple, did you really enjoy eating apples when you were little and it makes you think of your grandma, or whatever it is? Just start involving a little bit of emotion. And then next, and this is one of the most important things that I want to remind you of, stop when there is resistance. So anytime you're in a visualization practice and you're visualizing either something as insignificant as a blue feather just to practice that muscle, or you're visualizing the relationship that you want, you're visualizing an outcome of a contract, you're visualizing a certain amount in your bank account so that you can serve and be of more value for more people. When the thoughts come up of, but how am I going to do that? Or I don't really know if this is going to work. Or, but it feels so far away. Any of those types of thoughts come into your mind, stop immediately. Don't use your creative faculties against you. The moment resistance comes in, even if you didn't finish up that minute, stop. Just stop completely. I want you to be in the best feeling space when you're imagining and when you're visualizing. So the moment a resistant thought comes up, just stop. You will get to a place where you practice this muscle that a minute will go by, then a minute and a half, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes will go by without a resistant thought coming into your mind. I promise you this. But the key is, when you are practicing, stop when there is resistance, because it doesn't help using those creative faculties against yourself. And then lastly, and this is the most important part, expect results. When you are done with that 1 minute visualization, I want you to feel so good and feel so one with the blue feather, if I could put it that way, that you expect to see that feather today. that you expect to see that bank account increase on the daily, that you expect to experience that relationship, because you have been priming your body, your mind, your subconscious, and the world around you with that 1 minute of visualization to really bring that into being. Because think about this. If you're listening to me on a cell phone, if you're sitting at your desk with your laptop, if you're driving in your car, every single thing that you are holding in your hand, experiencing, using, eating, seeing, was in someone's mind at one time. Everything in this life has been visualized into manifestation. Everything started with a thought, and that thought became an image, and that image was like grown. They thought about it more. They put more pieces together. They imagined how it would be to use that cell phone, how other people would use that cell phone, how that cell phone would be available in shops, how they would sell it. They visualized every single aspect. And you visualized every single aspect of the world that you are creating, the world that you are experiencing. So why not use the power of visualization for you instead of against you? You've got that power. You know how to practice it now. And I will see you again next week, where we are going to start living every single thing that we have been learning. Thank you so much for listening. I absolutely love you. You matter. You are more powerful than you know. And I hope you have the best day. I look forward to hearing from you. Please share any takeaways that you got at the LifeKraft. Tag us, DM us. We love to connect with you. Have a beautiful day. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to share your takeaway or something you heard that motivated or inspired you, we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel, leave a review, and tag at the LifeKraft on Instagram. Also, feel free to let us know who you'd like to see appear on this show in future. We enjoy bringing you interviews from experts and everyday people so that they can talk about their experiences and share information, tips, and what has worked for them on their journey towards a better life. However, remember that the opinions or advice of our guests and myself, the host, should not be taken as personal, actionable advice and is given as general information and education only. Please always remember to consult a qualified professional before implementing any medical, financial, legal, or other advice that you believe might work for you. LifeKraft is not responsible nor liable for your decision when implementing anything you hear on the podcast. Please listen and act responsibly. The opinions of our guests do not represent the opinions or views of LifeKraft or Melissa Lane personally and are meant as information and general education only. Education only. Education